Hello everyone, my name is Greg Linton and I am the 2017 Student Body Treasurer. You're probably wondering, one, why do I care who you are? And two, why do I have to watch this video? Your first question, you got a point. But your second question, you should care because this will impact how much money your club receives next semester. The reason we're making this video is because we want all clubs to properly track costs and to prepare a binder effectively. Now when you follow these two steps, you will make your life and my life a lot easier. With that being said, let's proceed with the general template. Alright guys, let's jump into the template now. So you can find this general ledger template on the Senate Moodle page. If you type in Student Senate and go under to Budget and Financing Forms and Documents, you will be able to find this. So just to give you a quick layout of how this form works, at the top here we have the different categories. E for event, F for food, M for marketing, and you guys can see that. And so we want you guys to fill out the descriptions, the date, the category, the attendance, the expenditures, and the credits. You can't touch columns G and H because that's where all the formulas are, and I already set that up so you don't have to worry about that. So let's just go through a couple of examples of how this works. So for beginning allocation, think you want to put that in credit because Student Senate is giving you funds, and so think of credit as you're receiving money, think of expenditures as you're spending money. So to start off with beginning allocations, let's say for example you get $500, so you insert $500 in credit. Notice to the right the total is 500, the balance right now is 500. You're good. For supplies, you put the date, the category of supplies. Attendance is not applicable here, but let's say you spent $100 just for simplicity, and we're going to do $100 each time. Notice now your balance is 400. Let's go to the next one, pizza. So let's say you have a food event and you want to buy pizza. Attendance, once again, not applicable, but just say you spent $100 for that. Notice the balance now is 300. For the artist check, you bring an artist to campus. Let's say you bring in 200 people. Got that going there, and it costs $100 to bring them. Now your balance is $200. Now here's a different one. Let's say you ask for a supplementary allocation throughout the during the year, and so essentially let's say you didn't budget for these treats for finals at the beginning of the year, but you think this is a great idea, and so you come to Student Senate and you ask for $100 to fund treats for final season. So that wouldn't be an expenditure, that would be a credit because you're receiving money once again from Senate as opposed to spending money. So you're asked for money, Student Senate gave it to you, you put in 100, now your balance is 300. So this is pretty important information, so when you scroll down here at the bottom, keep your eyes focused on column E there. Your ending total is 300. Now keep in mind these totals at the bottom here, you can't touch these. These are locked as well. So these two columns are locked in addition to the totals. But this information is important because you see the $300 right here. You're going to go, when you prepare your actual budget, you're going to insert that in for fall 17 expenditures. You're going to put that number right there. And so that's our way of knowing that you kept track of your expenses. Here's your template right here to indicate it, and you'll be good to go. So from here, we're going to go to the actual binder and explain how that process works. Alright guys, so this is the binder portion of the tutorial. And so the first step I would recommend, especially for an organization that doesn't have as many line items, and this is what Student Senate uses, we print off a binder cover page. And so this represents all the expenses that we expect for the fall 2017 semester. So you print one of these, you got the name of all the executives on there, and that's your first sheet that you would insert in your binder under the first tab. Now, if you don't want to do that, you have an organization, you could distinguish them by the categories. You can have a supply category, you can have marketing, you can have other, you can have food. That takes a little more time, and I don't think it's necessary, but if you want to do that as well, you're more than welcome. After you do this, we're going to proceed to the check request form. Now this is extremely important for all organizations that participate in bringing an artist to co-college or that expect to be reimbursed for their food, supplies, marketing, anything of that nature. So essentially you just want to follow the steps here on the reimbursement form. Now please keep in mind you can find all of this information on the Student Senate Moodle page under the budget and financing information. But as I said, it's pretty self-explanatory. For example, if you have an artist, right, you're going to need that W-9 to identify their tax information. Check, are you going to mail it to the artist, or are they going to be able to hold it and pick it up the day of the performance? Then it's a matter of filling out the information, the name of the payee, the date, the description, so it would be like artist, event one, and then the category number. Now, I understand that there are new clubs on campus, and sometimes there's confusion on, well, we don't know our club number. I would highly recommend going to the business office, letting them know, hey, we're a new organization, I'm the new treasurer, or I'm the new president. Can you please tell us what our account number is? This is important because that's how they know what account to charge it to. So if you want to be reimbursed, for example, for supplies, they would charge it to that account in order for you to get that reimbursement. Now, a very important step here, and I would recommend this for all organizations, when filling this out, you need a student's name, that's their signature and their print that indicates, hey, this is our check, we expect to get this money. I would recommend having one person be responsible to write that. And if I had a say in it, it would be the student body treasurer for that organization. Now, keep in mind, none of this means anything if you don't get your advisor to sign off on this information. So after you write your organization's name, you want to have the advisor's signature, so then that person that advises that organization knows that you are expecting to take this money out of that account. So once we get through this, I'm going to show you an example here of what this looks like and how Student Senate properly uses this check request form. Now, as we can see here, this is an example that we use to fill out the check request form, in particular regarding the USA Today, the newspapers that we provide on campus. So we got the W-9. We've done this so much now, so we have it on file. We mailed this check to the USA Today headquarters in Dallas, Texas. So we notice here we're paying it to USA Today. We got the address information, right? We got the date that we're doing it. Disregard that because as we showed in the general template, we have information for that. So when you print this off and you fill this information out, you will not see that. No need to worry. For the description here, we got the charge. Notice we got the account number. That is the account number for Student Senate. So the business office knows who to properly charge it to. And then we have the student treasurer. This is the former student treasurer. In addition to the organization name, Student Senate, and our advisor's name, so they know as well. So this is what this looks like. Now, a very critical step that I didn't mention on the check request, but it shows here, you need documentation for all of this. So yes, you have this check request form, that's great. But notice when we turn here, we have the documentation indicating the invoice. So we both know, hey, we spent, as it shows here, $1,509.20 for these newspaper charges, and guess what? Here's the invoice. Total due, $1,509.20. You need to have confirmation for this stuff. And so these are just additional documents that indicate the different expenses, because the newspapers were not just in Upper Gage, they were in Murray, they were in Stewart, Hickok, stuff of that nature. So this is an example of what one properly looks like. Now I'm going to show you another one just so you guys have it. So this is an example of a reimbursement form. So our student body treasurer for 2017, Claire Tupper, was getting reimbursed for Food for B&F Day. So she filled out the information like before. That's great, but it doesn't mean anything with what? Without the student signature of the student body treasurer, in addition to the advisor's name. And the most critical step, as we mentioned before, you have to have documentation. So she has several documentations here indicating how much it costs. And so this is important information that you need to print out, so when the Oversight and Audit Committee checks this information, right, they'll be able to add up the cost and say, you know what, they indicated it was $146.06 on here, and that number should still be the same amount on the general template that we went over earlier. I touched on that a little bit on the general template about asking for additional money prior to, or excuse me, throughout the actual semester with the treats for final season. So this is also information that you want to include in your binder, and you can find this information on the Student Senate page, once again under the B&F Day information. So you have one of these for supplemental allocations in addition to one for reallocation. Last example here is the copy center order form. Make sure when you guys get copies for posters that you want to post on campus, make sure you get a copy of the actual amount that it costs, and make sure you add that in your general template expense sheet, just so we can keep organized and keep track of the expenses throughout the year. I understand that everyone has a busy season and busy schedule, but it's best to get on this stuff early, not only to help you, but please think about new executives that come after you that may not have a good idea of how this process works, but because you did a great job of keeping track of all this information, they can refer back to all the documentation that you provided in addition to the template that you did a great job of doing. So with that said, thank you for watching this long video. I hope this was helpful, and please, if you have any questions, email the Student Senate email account and we'll be able to accommodate you.